Hi ladies, this is Trisha Petito and I'm coming to you today to show you how you can get your photos onto your layouts. Now, I don't know about you, but we make these gorgeous layouts and we have every intention to put photos on them, but let's face it, a lot of times they just end up in your drawers and nothing gets done. So you have this beautiful layout you work so hard to create and then no pictures get put on it. So I'm going to show you today how to utilize your photos and to also resize the photos that you do have so that way you can utilize them on a layout. So this is a perfect example of a layout that I have done in the past. I can't even remember when I made this, but as you know, if you know me personally, I go on a lot of cruises, so it doesn't hurt for me to make layouts with cruise type themes since I go on cruises. So I want to use this particular layout for my most recent cruise that I went on with my family to the Baltic Sea. And we went to Copenhagen, Denmark, Germany, Russia, Sweden, and Finland. And I want to, in essence, show some photos on this paper. So here's all my photos that I had just told CVS to print out for me. And so, in essence, these are just random photos of what we did on the ship. So that's what I want this layout to be, is kind of collection of things that we did while we were on the ship, memories, things that'll jog my memory about all of our fun that we had on the ship. So this is, and I do this a lot with my layouts. I'll do a collection and just maybe make little journaling notes because I don't need a whole entire layout regarding this one picture or this particular picture. I don't need one full layout regarding it, but it's a nice memory that I can put with other things. So in essence, these are like leftover photos that I didn't feel like I needed to do entire layout regarding, but it would still be nice to have it in my album for this cruise. So, so what I'm going to do, I got my layout and I'm going to try to figure out where I want these photos. I think it would be really cool to have these over here. So that way it shows a picture that we took while we were on the cruise as well as us with the ship. That would be fun. And then over here, me and my husband went out one night, just the two of us, left the kids in the room. And so this would be super cool right here in the middle. Whoops. And then part of that date night, we went to the sugarcane bar and then we got sushi. So I would really like to have these, but I can do those like as a flip flap to show all three of them. So I'm going to put them down in here in this, in essence, in this square. This was when our ship went underneath the bridge in Copenhagen to get out to the ocean. So I thought that would be kind of fun to remind us that we went under the bridge. And what I would do is I would put this photo in this square and then underneath it, I could journal it or maybe put a little sticker on it saying what that was to remind me in the future, since just showing a bridge might not remind me 30 years from now. And then me and my husband one night, they did have an ice bar on the cruise ship. And so we thought it would be fun to go, and the kids were not allowed. So this was just something that me and my husband did. So I think these three photos regarding that would be super fun to put up in the square up here. Okay, so I have all my pictures laid out as to where I want them. The problem is I printed these pictures out in a 4x6, and obviously a 4x6 is not going to fit in this area. This is about the only one that I could just go ahead and use it how I have it and just cut it down, put the 3x3 to go in this. But obviously this huge picture of our heads would barely fit in there, as you can see. We would barely even get my head into that 3x3 area. So this needs to be resized. This particular photo, I could probably just cut down and use the one I have. But this one and this one, once again, needs to be resized. So that's what I'm going to show you. I do this an awful lot. And my favorite way to do these would be in a program called PicMonkey. It is a free website, and you create an account and then you can do all the things I'm about to show you. So let me get on my computer and I will show you how we do that. Okay, ladies, so I am on PicMonkey.com. That is spelled www.PicMonkey.com. And what's nice about this website is that it is free. You don't have to do a paid subscription. All the things that we're going to be doing today are very easy and friendly to do for you. So up here, just remember anytime you need to go back to this home screen, you can click on this icon up here in the left-hand corner. This says PicMonkey. You just click on that and that takes you back to the home screen. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do the create new, but you don't need a push on this because they have like the menu right here. But if you do create new up here, you just come down to collage. Or if you're on this home screen, you can hit collage down here. You have two options. So let's do create new and then do collage. And there's lots of different options here. As we scroll down, we're looking for the photo area, which I believe it says print sizes. Yes, so this is this. So what we're choosing is the 4x6. So that way, if you can upload it into any site, CVS, Walgreens, Snapfish, Shutterfly, any of those sites, and you're in essence telling them to print the 4x6 size photo, and you're only paying for the 4x6 photo, but we're going to make our smaller photos out of that. So as you see right now inside here, there's actually some spaces around the areas. Oh, we don't want that. So come over here to spacing and you're going to get rid of that spacing. So as you see, there's no spacing around the photos. The first thing I think we're going to do are the 3x4s. So we want to, in essence, split the 4x6 in half. So I'm going to actually choose this layout down here. Okay. And we only want this square and one big square over here. So we're going to click on this left-hand square where it has this little toggle button and scooch it over. And then make sure it's still highlighted and hit delete on our keyboard. So we now just have the two. So if this is a 4x6 size, then we're going to have, if we split it in two, it would be a 3x4 by 3x4. So that makes it really, really nice for us. So the first two images that we want to do are of us standing by the cruise ship. So we're going to replace this image and look in our computer, and I'm going to find that file where I had it. Let me see, where's my file? There we go, cruise. Okay, and these photos I believe are actually in here. There we go. So there's the one with the whole family in the cruise ship. And when it puts it in there, it's going to be the wrong orientation. So just make sure that square is highlighted with the blue. Come over here to the left-hand side and rotate it. So there's the full picture as I took the picture. This was actually a selfie. This is a perfect example of a photo. Selfies are perfect examples because the photo is usually really close to the subject, and you have so much information in here that I just don't want to cut out. I want all four of us. I want the cruise ship. I want all of it. So that's why we're making it the size that we want versus taking my 4x6 and cropping it with my cutter down to the 3x4. Because I think you'll see once it's printed out that it makes a huge difference. So let's do this other one, replace image, and then I'm going to hit my computer again, and it takes me back to the same file, so that's nice. And we're going to pick the one with the boys and the cruise ship. And so I don't actually mind this orientation, but I want the other orientation, the way I took the photo, so I can see all the boys and the cruise ship. So there we go. And in order to save this, I want to hit download. And so you have options here. I like to change it to JPEG because most printing sites will accept JPEG. Some don't accept the PNG image. So I have a tendency to switch it to JPEG, high quality, and then hit download. And that sends it to my computer. So I now have that saved. And let's move over to our our other photo that is, before we switch to 3x3, let's switch and do, where is that picture? Let me find it. And I want to say it's probably in here. Yes, it is. So there's this photo. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I want one for my scrapbook and I want one for my refrigerator. So we're gonna do it again. I know that seems silly, but in essence, I just took one 4x6 photo and split it into two 3x4s. And yes, I'm gonna have the image twice. One's for my scrapbook and one's for my refrigerator because I just think that's a hilarious photo. And then we're gonna go ahead and download that. Change it to JPEG, hi, and download that. Okay, so now let's do our 3x3s. Let's come over here to the side, and I'm gonna choose this one. Now, the only reason why is because it already looks like we have 3x3s. Oh, let's clear these images. I want this down here to be 87%. 87%. And what that does is it allows me to see at the size that my ruler is. So you can take your ruler and literally hold it up to the screen, highlight this big cell, and we're going to pull this line over to right about here. So I'm holding my ruler up to my screen and I'm pulling this line right here all the way over, so that way this square is a 3" by 3". So I just measured it, and the bottom one is 3" by 3". And then this square over here should be 1" thick or wide. Okay, and I only know that is because I have it have the percentage down here at 87%, which makes it so I can see the whole thing on my screen, and I can hold my ruler up and actually measure it as I'm doing it. Okay, how do I know that? I just figured that out, I'm gonna be honest with you, so I'm just passing along the information. Okay, so we have a 3x3, a 3x3, and then a 1x6 over here. We're not going to use this area. This is going to be blank. But let's do our first photo here. We're going to click on it, hit replace image with the computer, and let's go back to the previous. There we go. I believe these are over here. So let's do the pictures of when me and my husband went and had sushi. So the first picture I want is with our drinks. And look at that. So there's our image. Now, what's kind of cool about, I haven't shown you this yet, you can actually have this photo selected and come over here and click on image size, and you can actually zoom this photo in. Say I just wanted a little bit of those drinks and more of where it says sugarcane, I could do that. I can zoom it way in, as much or as little as I want. But I really don't want to have that. I just want it to fill in my 3x3. So for that reason, I'm going to do fit cell. Fill cell. That's going to fill the whole entire 3x3. If I do fit to cell, that means it's going to make it a small size, but not quite a 3x3. Like these would be blank white areas when they print out. So that's why I'm going to do fill cell. And I like it. I like exactly how it is. It looks great to me. I'm just going to adjust this just a little bit. Okay. And let's do this bottom photo. And let's do the one of me with my sushi first. Okay, so this picture was originally taken in the horizontal or landscape direction. But what's really cool is that most of the image that I want is right there in the center. So I can adjust this where I can, that I'm perfectly in the center of this photo. Because all this information over here I don't really need, and I don't even need the corner over here. So I'm going to adjust this. So there I am. I'm right in the middle. Okay, and all I did to do that was just pull it. Make sure I'm clicked on it, and then just pull it back and forth. Okay, so there you go. And let's save that. JPEG, high resolution, download. Okay, next two we need to do is of my husband and his sushi. So let's go back to our photos, and that one is right here. And same thing, I'm just going to adjust it where it looks the best. Yep, probably right about there. I like that. And then the picture of us together. This photo is actually pretty funny because we were going to dinner and we were teasing our children. So we sent this picture. That's why I'm blowing a kiss to my kids. So this one, it looks okay how they automatically put it in there, but I'm going to actually adjust it down some so that way we're more centered in the middle. So maybe right about there. And I like that. And then we're going to save that. So once again, we're just picking the photos that we had originally laid on our layout, but we're not quite the right size. And we're putting them in 3x3 size. How cool is that? Okay, next one. We decided this one we could cut, so we just need to do the other two. So here's the one. There we go. Now, here's a perfect example. So this was a landscape photo that I took. And this guy right here just so happened to be standing behind me. I don't need that guy. I don't know who that guy is, but I definitely want him. So I'm going to actually scooch it over. And that way I have me and Tony as well as the guy on the cruise ship. He took this funny photo and I just loved it. And as you can see by his name badge, you can tell he definitely works for the cruise ship. And I just love this photo. I think it just shows how much fun we had. And then, so that one's ready. And let's do this bottom one. And that would be the one of us pretending like we're cold, because it really was cold. And I want to scooch that down so I can get that Norwegian on there and make sure I can see it. So that's good too. So those are ready to go. Saving that. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to show you where they are on my computer. It's wherever you tell it to save it. I told it to save it in be my downloads area. So here they all are. Now you're probably going to notice that I actually have a lot of these on here because I've done it several times. So but there we go, all the ones that I requested for it to do. Okay, so now let's see how these look printed out and how we're going to put them on our layout. Okay, ladies, if you remember, this is the layout and where we had placed our photos and what we wanted to do. And here is our photos from CVS that we did. So as you can see, these photos, when we did them on the computer, like I said, 3x3 with that 1-inch border, we're just going to cut these apart and put them where we want them on our layout. You're going to see how quickly this comes together. In essence, these are reprints that we had done through CVS to make it fit our layout, just to remind you. Okay, so I'm going to work on getting these all cut apart as to where we wanted them. And go ahead and cut these. Okay, so here's a perfect example. These were the sizes we had originally printed out. Wasn't going to work for this layout. So instead I did a 3x4 instead of a 4x6. Look what the difference is on the photos, on the size. So if I would have cut this one, if I would have cut this one to the 3x4, as you can see, I would have cut off my boys, or I would have cut off half my face, and I wouldn't even see the ship. So reprinting it the size that you want really, really helps. Some photos, we don't have to do this because of what we're cropping it to. But this particular photo, I wanted all the image. So that's why we reprinted the size we want. And it's going to go here. And then this one's going to go here. And let's take one of the photos that we had cut for that middle one and see if we like it in the 3x4 size or if we want to stick with our 4x6 size. So this would replace this. So we can do it like this. That's an option, but I think I kind of do like the big size. So let's see about doing that. Oh my gosh, how fun. That's one of those cameras they have on the ship, and you can do a postcard of yourself to send home to family to make them jealous. So we had done this photo to send it to the grandmas because it was fun. Okay, I don't know about you, but I personally kind of like this back picture bigger. So instead of using the little one that we thought we might use, I think I'm going to stick with it like this. So that way it's the big focal point of this page with the little ones next to it. So we're not going to use this one. But I will probably use it for something else, maybe put on my refrigerator, what have you. Okay, now these 3 pictures, let's get those ready. So in essence, it was these, okay? And then this one goes in the middle. So let's cut those out, get those ready. Where did I put my scissors? Oh, there they are. So I'm just going to trim these by hand for speed, and I can show you in my camera, but you can absolutely throw this in your cutter and get this done the same way if you get nervous about doing it by hand. So you're probably thinking, how in the world are you putting 3 photos in one square? Well, because if you haven't heard of this magical thing called a flip-flop, or flip-flap, I should say. People like to call them flip-flops because that's what we wear on our feet. But they're flip-flaps. They are a wonderful design that Close to My Heart came up with, where it's it's like a page protector, but the size you need. And you put it on the outside, so it allows you to flip photos. I use them all the time. If you watch more of my videos, you'll see I use them. So these 3 photos is what we're going to replace. And this one is this one. So how cool is that? This humongous image that's a 4x6. I would never be able to cut it the 3x3 size because look how much I would cut off most of my face. I wouldn't even get all the sushi in. It would be very hard just to trim this down to a 3x3. It's such a dramatic size. But if I print it as a 3x3, look at, I get all the important image in there at the size I need. So this is the one that we're going to want to put in this little square down here. Okay. And then let's get the other 2. The drink and us, my husband with his sushi. Get those ready. And once again, just for the speed and to show you in the camera, that's why I'm doing it with my scissors. Okay, so there's my other 3x3s. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put these photos on the page in essence like this. And then, which I'll show you when I'm done. We're going to flip this up, and this photo will be up here, and that photo will be down there in my flip flap. Okay, so just for now, until I get ready to glue those down, we're going to put that there. Okay. This photo, we decided we didn't have to reprint, and this photo, we decided we didn't need to reprint, but we're going to need to cut those. So we'll set those aside. But these last 2 photos, remember, we made them smaller. So let's get those ready. Whoops. And there they are, the 3x3 size that we talked about. I love this option, especially if I have these. Selfies are horrible in the aspect of you kind of have to reprint them the right size because the camera is so close to the subject. Now, if it's a farther away image like this one with the bridge, we can absolutely cut that appropriately to the size we want and not lose out on all the important image. So you don't have to do this for all of them, but I'm doing it on these photos that they're so close up that I want all the image. So there we go. There's our first 2. And that's going to replace these 2. Okay. I'm going to set those aside. And then we have these 2 images. Now, we decided earlier that these ones I didn't need to reprint. I very well could have. I could have done the same thing. I could have done them in the 3x3 format. But as you can see on them, we're going to, let me grab my cutter here, and we're going to cut them the appropriate size instead of reprinting them back out. I'm going to take my cutter here, and I'm going to kind of eyeball it first to make sure I'm happy with what I want here. So I think I'm going to start it right about here. There's my Make sure I got my 3 inches. Okay. And then my 3 inches this way. So there we go. I cut it to the 3 by 3 for us to put on here. I didn't have to reprint it. Okay, how neat is that? And then this was our last picture to put over here. And what's important about this is I get the main characters in it. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up this side on my cutter, but I'm actually looking at the 3, knowing that when I cut this side, because if I did it way over here, then we're gonna get split down the middle. I kind of hold it where I think that this line at the 3 will look the best. So I'm going to do it right there, turn it around and do it right at that 3 mark again. And look how perfect. We're perfectly centered in that photo. Okay. And then once again, I got to do it this way for a 3 inch to go up and down. Cause right now this is a 3 by 4. So I wanted a 3 by 3 from our layout. So I'm going to actually scooch it up because I want this part of the photo to show, and I don't really care about the bottom of our clothes. So we're going to put it about right there. And then once again, trim off that extra where our coats are, that I don't need that part of the image. And there we go. So there's the photo of us. I know it's kind of hard to see in the photo, but it's kind of a bluish because that was the lighting in there, which is kind of fun. Okay. So once again, my 3 images that are going to put in a flip flap. I think I want this one to be the first one since I'm holding the glass. And then when we flip it up, you'll see this one and this one. Okay. And there we go. So we're going to do that there. Okay. Let's get this cutter out of the way. Whoops. I picked up one picture. Okay. So there we are. We resized everything. And you know what? I just realized I have one more square I want to put a picture in. Let me see. I think I actually have one of my boys dancing on the ship that I was going to use for another layout. So I did 2 screenshots from a video of my boys dancing on the ship. Either one would be fine, but I think I'm going to do this one. Totally forgot I had this picture. Good thing I printed it out. So you guys didn't see me do this in the tutorial because I had actually printed this out for a different layout and ended up not using it after all. So perfect. We have it and we can fill on our other square. There we go. That will work. You know what? And I don't really like that they're facing that way. I think I might use this one instead. There we go. Now it looks like they're facing into the layout. I think I like that better. And it's pretty much the same idea. Okay. And truthfully, I could put this on this side. I can put one up here. I can put one down here. But I like the idea of not having all of them filled out. I do my journaling over here. Okay. So, I mean, we obviously have options. So let's see. Do I like that better? Or I could put both of them. You know what? I think I might put both of them. Because, you know what? I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding. I think I'll leave this so that way I can show this. But if I decided I didn't want that there, I could just cover that right up. Okay? Don't hesitate to adjust your layout to work for your needs. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all these down and get us ready to show you the flip flap. Okay, as you saw, we went ahead and put our layouts in their sleeve protectors, their sheet protectors. So they're ready to go in the album how they need to be. And you guys saw me go ahead and get our flip flaps ready. So these are 3x3 flip flaps. And what you'll see is the image that goes on the top of the flip flop is going to be the one that you want to see when you first look at the page. And then when you flip it up, that would be the second, and the one that's on the page would be the third or the last photo in your series. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this item and you're going to peel off the sticky sheet. I make sure it's kind of like an envelope, if you would, so that when I go to put it on my page, it's kind of sealed and all the photos are inside. If we did it the other way around and then we fold that side down, then you're going to have an open flip flap. So I go ahead and in essence, if I know that this is kind of like envelope and I'm going to close it shut, this is the side that's going to be down so that the pocket is on the back, if that makes sense. And then we're going to adhere the flip flap on top of the page protector. So that way it looks like this. When you're done, you flip it up and boom, you have your other two photos. How cool is that? And then we're going to do the same over here. I already have it, so I'm there and I flip it up and there's my other picture and my pocket's in the back. So we're going to take that little white piece off and we're going to come over here and put it right where we want it and then seal it down. Now, these flip flops are extremely sticky, so yes, you can pull it back up, but if it's been down for a while, it might not come up easily. Just keep that in mind. So we now have 3 photos over here in this square instead of just 1, and 3 photos on the square instead of just 1, all because of that flip flap. And I use these flip flaps all the time. We have them in all different sizes. Highly recommend them. They're very good for also if you want to show a photo but then hide your journaling. You put your journaling here and then another photo. So that's fun too, versus having an open square for journaling. You can have it as part of your flip flap, and I do that a lot. So this layout ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 photos. So we have 12 photos on this whole entire layout with the use of our flip flaps. And for me, it is a perfect combination of all the things that we did on our last day on the cruise ship before we got off. And I just love this. And that's what I'm going to journal here. I'm going to journal about how these were all the last things that we got to do and all the fun that we had, and talk about all of these items. So how fun is that? I hope this helped you in utilizing layouts that you don't have photos on yet, and resizing the ones that you need to make it work with your layout through PicMonkey. Once again, you can print it out with any site that you want. I just chose CVS because it's right down the road, easy for me to get to and print out quickly. Okay, I hope this was helpful to you. You guys keep on scrapping.